right. Fine Music, episode 92. Yes, we marched through the 90s of our episodes at least. And with the ever reliable Fred Whitlock, who has yet another fantastic find. Listen to this.
Today I'm talking about two solo albums that Mick Hucknall recorded. He was and is the lead singer of Simply Red. He has a distinctive voice and he's always been sincere and in his love for R&B and soul music throughout his career. Tribute to Bobby came out in 2008, and it's a tribute to Bobby Blue Bland, a R&B soul singer who, according to his website and other sites, he had 30 hits in the top 20 soul charts. But he is probably under everyone's radar when it comes to soul singers, but a lot of people, including Van Morrison, has covered his music. This is an arousing album. It starts off with a hand clapping version of Further Up the Road. And Bobby Blue Bland, let me add, has put his approval to this project. He was still alive when it was being done. And there is a 17-minute video on YouTube about this album. So I'd urge you to see it. Throughout the recording, it's heartfelt and emotional, and it has an incredible drive to it. Rousing hand-clapping songs, funky at times, bluesy. It's tinged with a bit of gospel. And he brings a fresh contemporary feel to the songs without losing their appeal and their essence. He never apes the songs. He doesn't try to be Bobby Blue Bland. He just is himself. And he doesn't do it note for note. He takes the original material and uses it as a springboard and just brings new life to the songs. And then in 2012, he did American Soul. And like I said at the beginning, he's had a love for this music and a commitment to soul music and R&B. The recording's a little bit smoother than the previous album, but it's his voice that carries this album and holds my interest. It's filled with vintage soul tunes and even doo-wop and some blues. To name a few numbers, he does the Tyrone Power song, Turn Back the Hands of Time, the Flamingos, I Only Have Eyes for You, the blues tune, I'd Rather Go Blind, which was made famous by Etta James, and Nina Simone's Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood are just a few of the songs on this album. He's passionate without going over the top. And hopefully these recordings will bring people to the original soul artists. This is what happened to me in the 60s when British artists were doing American soul music. I built up my soul collection and have many of these blues and soul artists in my collection, but it's always a thrill to me to have someone bring new energy to these songs and take them from a different point of view. So I'm hoping that a new generation discovers these people. And also 2019, Hucknall reformed Simply Red and put out a kind of a dance album called Big Love. And then in 2019, his last Simply Red album was called Blue Eyed Soul, and is another great foot stomping album deep into soul-drenched music. So I highly recommend the solo albums and look into some of Simply Red's material.
You mean their newer material as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm left with a few questions. Bobby Blue Bland. I've heard the name before. He's had hits. You're right.
Yeah, his biggest was Turn On Your Love Light.
All right. But he
I
was the
think that's the one
songwriter
he's
all those
most
hits.
known for.
Yeah. He's the songwriter, right?
Gee, I didn't look up to see if he
Yeah.
wrote that song or not.
Yeah, I'll look
I
it up.
think
I'll
he
look it up.
did. I think he
You're
did.
probably right.
And I think he did an album in the sometime in the 70s with B.B. King. He was on the Bluesway label. I think that was his last recordings that he did on Bluesway Records that was distributed by ABC Records.
Righteous. And then American Soul. I think I noted down all the performers that Mick did remix. Yeah, this is pretty clear, actually.
Yeah, I'm hoping
Mick,
that people will go out and get Bobby Blue Bland's greatest hits and Otis Redding's greatest hits, Solomon Burke's, and get into some of these older guys.
yeah, that sounds like a really worthwhile thing to do. Really got to check that out. Bobby Bland's greatest hits. And Mick Hucknall, everybody knows Holding Back the Years.
Yes.
Right? That was a big 80s song. But he's been singing all along, even
Yeah.
after Simply Red broke up. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been bigger in England than America, really.
Yeah, he's
Right?
bigger in Europe.
Yeah.
He didn't. He only had a couple of hits in America, but he's been a major act in Europe.
Someone worth checking out. And when you check these things out, you might use the method I use. You go on YouTube, catch some videos. And when you do that, it helps turn you on to other things by either the same artist or similar artists. So I've been mining that mine lately. Coming up in episode 93. But for now, episode 92 is all done. Check out Mick Hucknall. And how do we relate?
Oh,
Yeah,
I would say if you like Simply Red, you'll like Mick Hucknall's solo albums.
that's a given. That sounds very much a given. Very good. All right, that's so safe. I'll try to stick Bobby Blue Bland in the title too. I'll just
Okay.
limit me to 100 characters, but I'll do what I can do. All right, thank you, Fred. You've done it again.